Meeting to order, call the roll.
Trustee Healy?
Here.
Trustee Katsinas?
Here.
Trustee Malani?
Here.
Trustee Compass? Trustee Reardon? Trustee Rashevsky?
Here.
Mayor Pika?
Here, and Trustee Reardon couldn't make it because he's caught on a flight that was delayed, so.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Approval of the February 5th, 2024 Committee of the Whole minutes.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Committee of the Whole of February 5th, 2024.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Rashevsky?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Mayor Pika?
Aye.
Turf fertilization and weed control invitation to bid 23-054.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to recommend to the village board to approve awarding ITB 23-054 turf fertilization and weed control to Integrity Landscaping Incorporated for 2024 to 2026, with the village's option to extend the contract for an additional 2 years for an amount not to exceed the annual board-approved budgeted amounts.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon, or excuse me, Trustee Rashevsky?
Aye.
Mayor Pika?
Aye.
Peterbilt Model 548 heavy-duty vehicle purchase.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Healy.
I move to recommend to the village board to approve the use of Sourcewell contract number 060920-PMC for the purchase of 3 single-axle Peterbilt 548 for the amount of $424,117.95 per quote number DE03283 dated September 6, 2003.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Rashevsky?
Aye.
Mayor Pika?
Aye.
Athletic Operations Maintenance Facility.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Radiszewski.
I move to recommend to the village board to approve the Plan Commission recommended action for case number 2023-0515, also known as Orland Park Athletics Maintenance Facility.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Rashevsky?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Mayor Pika?
Aye. And just to point out, we're very happy to get this done. I know that Parks and Public Works are happy to get this done as well, because that facility is kind of falling down. So it'd be nice to have that, and it'll also help pave the way for our Veterans Center to move.
Police Department Firing Range and Emergency Operations Center Facility.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to recommend to the village board to approve the Plan Commission recommended action for case number 2023-0508, also known as the Police Department Firing Range and Emergency Operations Center.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Healy.
I was wondering, is there any, George, how long will this facility be? Or, I mean, is it estimated to last 30 years, 50 years, or any?
Let's say 50.
It's like any of our facilities, Bill. If we take care of them, the buildings will last for a very, very, very long time, like many of our buildings. If you don't,
Well, okay, we're spending a lot of money. I just wanted to, in my mind, put it over a couple
Yep.
years.
if you want to go through the presentation, quick.
Yes, I'll do a short presentation.
Yep.
As you can see, here's a new rendering for the facility. Next slide, please. Working with the Planning Commission, we briefed all these items about where the location in the village, what was the ideal location. And so, and that's a little bit reach back photo of the new rendering. Next slide, please. The Range is broken into two parts, range and the EOC, and they have a lot of dual space that will be used by both. So we maximized and kept the space at a optimal sizing. Next slide, please. You can see just parking lots. We worked with the commission to look at the parking lots and looked at also the storage facility for ESDA, emergency group for the village, as well as parking over, a cover for the vehicles for ESDA. Next slide. Lastly, working with the commission, we're looking at the landscaping around the building. As you can see, we are properly enclosing the garbage areas, trees, and so forth for the landscaping. And last slide. After this commission, we're actually bidding this on the street with the opening on March 15, board approval after that on the April 1st meeting with you, if all bidding is appropriate to the dollars we have allocated. And then we want to complete substantially in April, but majority of the building will be up by probably around Christmas, and we'll be working some interior stuff, after Christmas to have it in the spring. That's it.
Outstanding. You want to bring out the Lego?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So, and Joel, in his spare time, created a to scale model of this with Legos. So, which is in the back room back there. But Bill, to your point, I mean, look at this. This building here has been here for 35 years, or 34, and as long as we're using it and using it for what it's intended for and maintain it, the building will last a very long time. Where we're getting into where we're getting rid of buildings is buildings that we just don't have any use for anymore and we don't really spend money on. So anything we still continue to use on a regular basis, we keep investing in. So this is very important. Our range was dangerous, and so now we'll have a top quality range and training facility for our police. Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Rashewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pica?
Aye.
Land Development Code Substantive Amendment, Car Dealership Parking and Storage.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to recommend to the Village Board to approve the Planning Commission recommended action for case number 2023/0858, also known as Substantive Amendment, Car Dealership Parking and Storage.
Second?
Are there any comments? And Steve, could you give us a quick summary?
Yeah, this was, the committee actually did approve this pending some intent language change. We did make that correction and ran it by legal. So this is just a
microphone on?
It is on. This is just a reaffirmation of your previous vote, just to see the language that changed.
Got it. Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Rashewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pica?
Aye.
Land Development Code Substantive Amendment, Modify Entitlements Review Process.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to remove this item from the table.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Call the roll.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Rashewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pica?
Aye. So this item was put on the table for some changes that we needed to the language and to provide more clarifications. Does anyone have any comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I'd just like to thank the Development Services staff for working with us on these updates. I know I was getting into the weeds, was picking a few nits, but one clarification question. I noticed that you changed the language on the final engineering to final plan, so I'm just curious what got included with that, if not just the engineering piece.
Yeah, so there has always been a step that final engineering be approved by staff prior to it going to the village board. The village board never actually approved the final engineering. This tended to be a very cumbersome, expensive item to be completed, which this is stuff that didn't need to be done until the permit was pulled. What you were approving was the actual site plan. So no changes to the plan that you're approving. The engineering is just the way to implement the site plan. That doesn't need to be done now. And I know we had some questions about the 80% plans, but when we talked it through, it really wasn't a necessary step to be before the ordinance was passed. So just know that there will be a condition in all of the reports moving forward that all engineering requirements must be met unless they're being varied by you prior to the construction.
Okay. Any comments? Call the roll.
Did we make the motion?
Yeah, it was off the table. That's my, well, no, who was the original ones? I don't know who originally motioned it.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Rashewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Athletic Field User Agreement.
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Compass.
Move to recommend to the village board to adopt the updated athletic field user agreements for use in allocating athletic fields for residency, administering rental and non-resident fees, defining field usage protocols and services provided by village staff, setting expectations for coaches, players, parents, guardians, and spectators, and to utilize the outlined three-strike policy as defined in the agreement.
Second.
Is there anybody here to speak on this? You want to give us a quick summary? Sure. Right, please. Thank you.
So the athletic field user agreement is used to govern the use of fields. It sets policies and guidelines and priorities and fees for using the fields. Get the next slide, please. What we did is we just updated the athletic field usage agreement. Most of the content really didn't change. We added examples to the groups that are in the priority order of scheduling. We added the rental fees for both grass and the artificial fees right into the agreement. We added artificial turf user guidelines and the field scheduling timeline, so it governs the guidelines, gives our users an opportunity to look at the full schedule for the whole year of scheduling the fields. And the rest of the agreement really is the same as it was last year. We did meet with some of the athletic organizations to hear their concerns. Most of their concerns are really centered around the conditions of the field. Next slide, please. So we addressed those concerns with them, and we are working towards meeting those concerns so we can deliver a better product in the field. As far as the athletic field user agreement goes, they didn't really have any disagreements there. It was really as it related to the conditions of the field. And then the Recreation Advisory Board did approve this to the board on February 6th.
Any comments or questions? Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Rashewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
153rd Street and Ravinia Avenue Roundabout Phase 2 Design Engineering Contract Award RFQ 23-049.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to recommend awarding RFO 23-049 for the 153rd Street and Ravinia Avenue Roundabout Phase 2 Design Engineering to V3 Companies Limited for a total not to exceed amount of $267,630 and for the village manager to execute all related contracts subject to village attorney review.
Second.
And that was RFQ, not RFO.
The glasses are.
Yeah. You need to hit the eye doctor. Is there anyone here to speak on this? Okay, any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Who seconded that?
Trustee Compass.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Rashewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Schussler Park and Centennial Park West venue project updates.
I will turn it over to you guys for the updates. I will say I've been by both in the last week and they look great, but
I'm going to go ahead and kick us off here. So we're pleased to present this update to the board tonight. If we can get the next slide, please. So this is a condition of Schussler Park. I'm sorry, let me back up. I want to introduce Diana Johnson, who's here in the audience with V3. Diana's been heading the project up as V3 has been building the project. White and Company, working with Kyle Buck, has been the engineering firm, and then Kershid and I have been working together to oversee this project. This slide here, you can see the original project with the old tennis courts and all that area to the top of the screen, which is all brown. And that's because this park historically has flooded and really wasn't usable. This was or is a community park, and as a community park was underutilized, and so this project is really a great project for our community, which will make these fields more usable. You can see that in this next slide here. So in this slide here, you can see we have 2 full-size artificial turf fields that will be used for football, soccer, lacrosse. We can also go across those fields to have 4 practice or game fields for 9v9. It'll include bleachers. There's some additional parking there on the right side of the screen for 88th Avenue, and there'll be a maintenance building there. Up in the upper left corner, you can see a new sledding hill, so that replaces the butt crack sledding hill that was formerly on the site. And then the pond there was dredged, so the fishing around that pond is going to be much better. A couple outcroppings have been added to the pond as well. Phase 2 of the project in the middle of the screen there will include a playground, an all-inclusive playground, a half basketball court, and a pavilion. We also are adding restrooms in phase 1 of the project.
So we're just showing some slides about how the project has progressed. I don't want to speak about every picture in it, but overall, somewhere last year in September, we started on this project, and then that's where we started the excavation. And then for some people, if you don't know, that half of the field is actually an underground water retention facility, which is going to help us with the flooding in the field that we used to have. On the right side on the picture, you can see that's the base for that underground facility where we are pouring the concrete. And then in the next few slides, you'll see the more details about it. Next slide, please. We also removed silt from the pond, and that's why you can see the pond is actually dry, and all the fishes are gone. Hopefully, when the water will fill back again, we'll restock with fishes also. But that was a necessary step. Those 2 circles that you see, I know it's a small picture for you, but those are 2 workers who are actually in the water and trying to remove the silt out of the pond, and that's what they're doing. Beyond that, the other pictures are just the details of that. Again, we did all of this work last year in September. Next slide, please. This was quite an interesting step of the project where we brought in a 500-ton capacity crane that was actually filling in these 16,000-pound concrete pieces that was actually creating the tabletop system for the stormwater retention system. It's quite an interesting view. I have a video, a short, very, very short video in the next slide that you will be able to see. Next slide, please. This is how on the top left picture, you can see how we were placing these pieces, and then on the right side is a one by one that was being done. And it's done, this is how it looks inside the stormwater system, and those holes that you see, that one hole that in the right side, right bottom picture, that's where the water will actually filtrate into the ground, but it will filtrate into the ground at a very slow pace so that we do not flood the field in that context. Next slide, please. I will not speak. I think this is a video. If you could click on it one more time, and the video would start. Okay. Not that one. That slide itself was.
Stay in the slideshow and click on the. Go to slideshow. Now click on that.
Yep, right there.
It's actually a pretty cool project if you went out there while they were building it.
The workers were good enough that they were able to place each piece in about 5 minutes. So in a day, we were placing about 60 to 65 pieces. So, again, White & Company is our architect and engineer for the project. V3 is the general contractor. We placed about 800 pieces of those concrete pieces, some small, some large, but overall, that's about what we have, which equates to about, next slide, please, about 6.7 or 6.5 acre foot of water. That's what we will be able to hold into this. Just another picture right now, if you go out to the site, the concrete top is all done. We're filling in on the sides, and then concrete wall are also being built. So the field will be, actually half of the field will be on top of this black fabric that you're seeing. Next slide, please. So this is the wall that is all done. I mean, this is, like you can see, this was done in December. So all the retaining walls have been done. Lighting has been in place now. The floodlight that will be used for nighttime activity, that's all being done. And again, we did that. Weather was very supportive to us in December. This is what we were able to do. Next slide, please. Again, we did some pond dredging as well to increase the capacity in the pond. That's what was the effort for. It took us a few weeks for us to get that done, and we tried to dredge as much as we can, and that certainly has helped us with additional capacity. One more slide, please. All that is done, like I said, just an updated picture. You can see these poles that are for the fence around the field. Then also you have poles for the net, so that the football and the whatever sports being played at, they do not go into the neighborhood or anything like that. That is the purpose. The net will be installed in the coming weeks. Next slide, please. So quick update on we did some of the modifications in the project. The soil during the wintertime was not as supportive for us to have our heavy equipment on it, so we stabilized it. Then the project schedule was from February to May, projected schedule from May to May of 2024. We're installing all of these curbs, concrete work is going on, pond dredging is being completed, and then coming in March and April, the important part that people would like to know is that scoreboard will be going up in March and April timeline, as well as the artificial turf will be installed. Exactly from 2 months from today, the fields will be in place. The artificial turf will be in place. Next slide, please. Without going into all of these details, bleachers will be coming in after the May timeline, just because there is a fabrication delay in that. Restrooms and a storage facility will be added, but the most important part is the field will be ready for usage by the end of May.
Great. Yeah, I know it's been going well out there, so it looks fantastic. You want to roll on with Centennial Park West? We were a little slower start with Centennial Park West, but I think we're catching up.
Yeah, we were dealing with some weather conditions, and so I wanted to introduce the Reed team. They're here to give the presentation. The project manager is James Kapp, and Nick Gonzalez is the assistant project manager, and they're going to give a short presentation. Oh, also, the vice president's here too.
Hello,
Scott.
I'm James. This is Nick. This is Scott. We're the team working at Centennial Park. So we have prepared a presentation for you tonight. Can I have the next slide, please? So some of the completed tasks that we've done has been relocation of existing trees. We relocated 56 of them. We've completed the site grading. We have almost a 5-acre site. We've also installed the retaining wall along the west side. We've also done all the deep utilities on site to include storm, water, and sanitary. Can you get the next slide, please? We've also installed the deep foundations, or the rammed aggregate piers. We've completed the foundation install. Currently, our masonry walls are 90% complete. We are on track to have all the CMU wall finished by the end of this week. The building underground utilities are also installed within the footprint. Have the next slide.
Can you move the mic up?
Oh. So this is an aerial view of Centennial Park. You are looking at the front of the building or the stage side. Can I get the next slide, please? This is an aerial view from the back side of the building. So this actually encompasses where the parking lot and entry will be. We also have some scheduled dates. So currently we're working through masonry. One of the major milestones is going to be structural steel install. As soon as masonry is complete, we will start with the steel install, and it'll be a dramatic change to the site. You'll see the entire pavilion assembly being set in place. We are working
That's going
through.
to start about next week based on what we're seeing out there, roughly, for the steel?
That's correct, yes. As soon as the masonry is done, we'll be on site with the steel. All the steel has been manufactured and is ready to go. We are just waiting for the masonry to complete.
And with the good weather we've had over the last 2-3 weeks, we've made huge progress. So it will allow us to bring steel in early.
Yep.
Currently, we're working through scheduling on landscaping. We are working with the team to try to accelerate when we'll install the sod. Right now, we're looking at an April install timeline. We are trying to back that into March. We have a couple of scheduling programs to do so, including multiple mobilizations to try to give a longer grow time to the turf before the first concert. We also included a drone flight video to show the site and all the progress we've made that we'd like to share with you. That's our presentation. Are there any questions from the board?
Any questions? So that, so just to put it in perspective of how much people are watching it, I took some pictures there this weekend and posted it. 11,000 people have taken a look at that, so I think people are very excited about it. It's taken, it took a while to see a lot of progress, but the last 3 weeks, the weather's been fantastic, and you guys look like you're cooking with gas out there, so it's great.
Correct.
It's been fun.
Any other comments? Excited, so thanks a lot, guys, appreciate it.
Yep.
The Orland Park Police Department's biannual award ceremony, badge pinning, and the swearing in of recently certified police officers.
All right, for this, I'll come down. We hold these ceremonies a couple of times a year, which I think is great, and really enjoy seeing all of our officers and all the families of the officers for their well-deserved recognition. As you all know, the board and I are very, very proud of our police department, and we do a fantastic job keeping Orland Park safe. That starts with our leadership with Chief Rossi, Deputy Chief West, all of our commanders, our lieutenants, our sergeants, and all of our officers on the ground, as well as all of our support staff. Without everyone working as a team, we wouldn't have the great department that we do and have the great results we do. So thank you very much, and thanks to all the families, because I know that it's a tough profession and they need your support, and I know it's hard on the families sometimes. So thank you for all the support you give our officers. And with that, I'll turn it over to the chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Village Board, George, Jim, thank you for this opportunity to showcase some of the work that these officers have done in the past 6 months. Just a little snippet. I want to say thank you to the family, friends, and our guests that came out here tonight to support us. Not only is our biannual award ceremony tonight, but we're also going to be swearing in 3 new officers. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Chairman of the Board and Fire Police Commissioners, Dave O'Connor.
Thank you, Chief, and to Mayor Pekow, the entire board, good evening. It is a true pleasure to be here once again at our biannual honors, and this is a great night because we do have the opportunity to swear in 3 more fine police officers to join the Orland Park family. I have the honor of chairing the Fire and Police Commission here in Orland Park, and our functions are recruiting, hiring, discipline, and termination and promotion of Orland Park police officers. We're very fortunate that we have a town in which many police officers in this state are vying to get to. We are very fortunate that we have young recruits that are dying to work for this particular department. And that says a lot about this community and what our function as far as trying to provide safety for all actually is. Today, we have 3 more officers that are going to join the Orland Park family. I believe that we're going to start with Officer Robert Worth.
Our first swearing in this evening is Robert Worth, badge 717. He's going to be pinned by his wife, Jen. So, Bob, if you want to come down, your wife, Jen, wants to come up as well. Officer Worth came to the Orland Park Police Department after serving 21 years with the Burr Ridge Police Department. In his time with the Burr Ridge Police Department, Robert served as a patrol officer, detective, community policing and dare officer, field training officer, juvenile officer, and taser instructor. As indicated, Bob brings a wealth of training experience that now benefit the residents of Orland Park.
Officer Worth, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Robert Worth.
I, Robert Worth.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
And the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
I will enforce all laws of the state.
I will enforce all laws of the state.
And ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
And ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
I will faithfully discharge the duties.
I will faithfully discharge the duties.
Of the Office of Police Officer.
Of the Office of Police Officer.
For the Orland Park Police Department.
For the Orland Park Police Department.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Officer Robert Worth.
Before we do the next 2 swearing-ins for Officers Skendler and Hill, we just want to take a moment to address the board regarding their hire. If the board recalls, on November 30th of 2020, retired Chief Joseph Mitchell presented the proposal to the Mayor and Board of Trustees at that special board meeting. The chief recognized there was a law enforcement recruitment issue across the country. Chief Mitchell requested permission from this board to do something that was kind of out of the ordinary. Joe was a big proponent of baseball, if anybody ever talked to him. He always called balls and strikes. But what he wanted to do was he wanted to grow and cultivate a farm team within our own ranks. The village has always recognized that our part-time employees were very important. But at that time, Chief Mitchell stated he wanted to grow the community service officers and detention aides, young men and women who had a feeling they wanted to be police officers. He wanted to sponsor them for a part-time police academy. Selected staff would attend the 8-month part-time police academy. Upon graduation, become part-time police officers in the village of Orland Park, where they'd undergo the full field training program. Purpose of the program was designed to cut back on the time it takes for the department to replace retired officers. When the part-time officer comes out of the academy, they only need to attend a two-week field training bridge academy to become full-time in the state of Illinois. In other words, they will hit the ground running without going to further training. The program was subsequently approved by the board. On behalf of Chief Rossi, I'm proud to report that Officers Skender and Hill are the first 2 members of our internal farm team, and their full-time hires are results of this program. We just want to thank Chief Mitchell for his insight and dedication in proposing this to the board, and also the board for recognizing this program. So, without further ado, Morgan Hill and her mother, Ellen Hill. Is Ellen here? Ellen, you want to come up? Congratulations. Morgan started with the Orland Park Police Department in 2020 as a community service officer before transferring to detention aide in 2021. While working as a detention aide, she gave up her weekends when she was sponsored for the part-time police academy. Upon graduation, she became a part-time police officer in 2023. She took the full-time police exam, was subsequently hired, and now stands before us to be sworn as a full-time police officer.
Please repeat after me. I, Morgan Hill,
I, Morgan Hill,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
I will enforce all laws of the state
I will enforce all laws of the state
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Police Officer
of the Office of Police Officer
for the Orland Park Police Department
for the Orland Park Police Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Officer Morgan Hill.
Jacqueline Skender and her mother, Laura Skender. Jacqueline started with the Orland Park Police Department in 2019 as a community service officer before transferring to detention aide in 2022. While working as a detention aide, she was sponsored for the part-time police academy. Upon graduation, she became a part-time police officer in 2023, took the full-time exam, did well, was hired, and now stands before us to be a full-time police officer.
Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Jacqueline Skender,
I, Jacqueline Skender,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
and the Constitution of the
I will enforce all laws of the state
I will enforce all laws of the state
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
and ordinances of the Village of Orland Park.
I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Police Officer
of the Office
for the Orland Park Police Department
for Orland Park Police Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Officer Jacqueline Skender. Congratulations.
We're moving on to the awards ceremony now. The first award is the Grand Cordon Award. The Grand Cordon Award is awarded to police officers and employees of the department for their dedication, determination, and the arrest of persons responsible for numerous criminal acts throughout the area. This is presented to Officer Nate O'Connor, Officer David Hansen, Officer Tyler Lorick. On September 6, 2023, targeted response unit officers investigated a suspicious vehicle after observing the occupant smoking cannabis within the car. Upon making contact with both individuals, they immediately exited the vehicle and attempted to distance themselves from the vehicle. The subject became uncooperative with the investigation, and the officers had previous intelligence on one of the individuals to be known to carry illegal firearms. Subjects were eventually detained in handcuffs, and a search of the vehicle and person was conducted. Recovered from the vehicle was cannabis, 3 separate firearms to include extended magazines, 88 checks from various businesses and individuals throughout the country, and 14 different cellular phones. The firearms at the time of recovery were readily available to the offenders just prior to exiting the vehicle. Further investigation revealed the checks were stolen from the U.S. mail and being cashed under fraudulent means into several different bank accounts being utilized by the offenders. If the officers did not locate these stolen checks, the potential loss for business individuals is over $900,000. Upon initial investigation, both offenders were charged with aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. The officers were currently working with the Cook County Financial Crime Special Prosecution Unit to bring additional charges regarding the financial institution fraud that occurred. The officers spoke with victims in over 10 different states, who were able to successfully recoup their losses due to the officers' investigation of the stolen checks. They also received several calls from police agencies outside of Illinois, so those departments could further their own investigations of the matters pertaining to their jurisdiction. These 3 officers' dedication and determination resulting in the arrest of 2 offenders who were responsible for numerous criminal acts throughout the country. These officers are therefore awarded this award. Grant Cordon Award presented to Officer Thomas Healy. On December 14, 2023 at 9:30 hours, Officer Healy conducted a traffic stop on a stolen vehicle that came to a stop in a residential parking area. After detaining the driver, Officer Healy conducted a probable cause search and recovered multiple key fobs for other vehicles, titles for other vehicles, and a ledger containing several names, dates, and birth and social security numbers of other individuals. Another stolen vehicle was immediately recovered that had been parked next to the stolen vehicle when it pulled into the parking lot. Officer Healy, with the assistance of targeted response unit officers, then conducted a thorough investigation into the subject he had detained. Officer Healy would end up recovering a 3rd stolen vehicle from the subject and find out the subject was involved in several cases of fraud and even interstate fraud. Officer Healy's case resulted in the following: completion and execution of 5 search warrants, 3 phones and 2 vehicles, worked directly with officers of multiple agencies, Secretary of State Police, Illinois Statewide Auto Theft Task Force, Ohio, Georgia, and the FBI, recovery of multiple stolen vehicles. Officer Thomas Healy dedicated himself to the mission of keeping the community of Orland Park a safe place, showed dedication and determination in the arrest of the subject who was responsible for numerous criminal acts. Officer Healy is therefore awarded this award. The Exceptional Service Award. The Exceptional Service Award is presented to officers and employees of the department for a highly credible accomplishment, bringing public acclaim to themselves, the department, or to the police profession as a result of training, devotion to duty, or service to the public. This award is presented to Investigator Ron Arendt. On October 19, 2020, Investigator Arendt was contacted by an AT&T corporate loss prevention agent regarding an AT&T employee who committed numerous instances of identity theft while working for the company. The suspect employee used current AT&T customer information to purchase cell phones without the victim's knowledge or consent. This suspect employee would fraudulently upgrade the victim's account, which allowed him to receive a new cell phone. The only amount due for the new cell phone was the sales tax. AT&T's internal investigation revealed the suspect employee used his own credit card to pay for the tax on these new phones. The suspect employee's actions caused a monetary loss for the Orland Park AT&T store of $64,297. Investigator Aaron AT&T learned the suspect employee and his girlfriend were also responsible for the same crime at the Crestwood, Oaklawn, and AT&T stores, where those losses totaled $55,700. Due to the complexity and total dollar amount stolen from this case, Investigator Arendt requested to have the case reviewed with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office Special Prosecution Division. Unfortunately, Investigator Arendt began working with this division during the height of COVID-19 restrictions, which proved difficult because courts were not in session and court employees were not working in the office. Because of these restrictions, the case was delayed by the Special Prosecution Division. Investigator Arent remained persistent and had the case reviewed by different prosecutors. Investigator Arent was able to successfully obtain an arrest warrant for the suspect for the charge of continuing financial crimes, a Class 1 felony. Suspect was officially arrested and charged on November 9, 2023. During the several-year course of this investigation, Investigator Arent pushed through obstacles that delayed the case to complete a successful prosecution in the end. Investigator Arent's dedication to duty is in keeping with the highest traditions of the law enforcement community. He's therefore deserving of this award. Unit Citation. The Unit Citation Award is awarded to the active participants of an operating unit for a cited action involving a highly unusual accomplishment through the teamwork of all involved in the cited action. TCO Al Labno, TCO Dina Vayner, Officer Cody Gestes, Officer Joe Zummerling, Officer Sean Mulcahy, Investigator Michael Benjamin, Investigator Alex Vayner, Investigator Doug Kine, and we can't leave out Maverick. Maverick's here as well. On August 27, 2023, the Orland Park Police Department responded to the Lifetime Fitness at the report of a female victim who was stabbed multiple times in her back. Numerous officers responded and immediately rendered medical aid to the victim, secured the scene, and began initial investigation. Officers learned the suspect was an ex-boyfriend. This information was immediately relayed via radio to responding Orland Park Police units. The Orland Park Police dispatch team identified the registration plate on the vehicle, broadcast it over the air. Investigator Benjamin located the suspect vehicle and attempted a traffic stop. The vehicle initially tried to drive away from Investigator Benjamin, but became stuck in traffic. Investigator Benjamin and Officer Zummerling successfully ordered the suspect out of the vehicle and arrested him. Investigators Vayner and Kine performed numerous interviews, executed search warrants, processed evidence, and ultimately obtained a confession from the suspect. The suspect was charged with attempted murder, a Class X felony, as well as several other felony charges. The officers, investigators, and dispatchers worked as a team to locate, arrest, and charge the subject for attempted murder. And they are keeping with the highest traditions of the law enforcement community and are deserving of the Unit Citation Award for their teamwork and dedication to duty. The next award is a life-saving award. Before I read this one, I just want to recognize two members of the Fire Protection District. They're in the back row, Chief Schofield, Deputy Chief Stickapalmi. Although our officer is getting an award here today, I'd just like to point out that we do what we do because of the Fire District. Our training, our relationship with them, it betters the citizens of Orland Park. We have weekly phone calls with them. When we get past the verbal better, who's better, the police or the fire, we really get down to business to figure out what's going on in the town. And we appreciate your camaraderie, your support, and your friendship. So I just want to point that out. And we do think they really want to be police officers, but I think the time has passed. Life-Saving Award. The Life-Saving Medal is awarded for an act performed by officers or employees of the department whose prompt and alert actions resulted in the saving of a human life. This is presented to Officer Jacqueline Skender. Is James Osmolsky here? James Osmolsky? No? Okay. On December 9, 2023, Officer Skender responded to a residence for an assist ambulance call referencing a male not breathing. Upon arrival, Officer Skender observed the victim unresponsive on the floor. Officer Skender checked the victim for a pulse, and there was none. CPR was begun. While doing CPR, Officer Skender was told the victim had been eating prior to collapsing and appeared to be choking. Officer Skender sat the victim up and began the Heimlich maneuver to dislodge the object in the throat. Attempts to dislodge the object in the throat were unsuccessful. The Orland Fire Protection District arrived on scene, took over life-saving measures, and brought a pulse back to the victim. The victim was transported to the hospital by the paramedics. Officer Skender's fast-acting decisions bring a claim to herself, the Orland Park Police Department life-saving training program, and the entire police profession as a result of her devotion to duty. Officer Skender is therefore awarded the Life-Saving Medal. Civilian of the Year, presented to TCO John Zurich. The Officer and Civilian Employee of the Year award is presented to an officer and civilian employee who exemplifies the highest degree of dedication and professionalism throughout the year. TCO Zurich is a consummate professional that creates a positive work environment for everybody around him. Officers on the street rely on TCO Zurich daily to provide clear delivery and well-handled dispatches, no matter the complexity of the incident. John gets officers the information they need to get home safely on a daily basis. John's coworkers credit his strong work ethic, positive attitude, and leadership abilities, which he displays every day. He's eager to take on new challenges no matter what the task is. John's commitment to achieving team goals is evident in his proactive efforts to support his colleagues. Whether it's offering assistance during peak workloads or providing valuable knowledge as a training officer, John consistently goes above and beyond to ensure this team's success. John has earned the appreciation and respect of the members of this organization. He comes in every day in support of the mission and goals of the department. It's also noteworthy in the write-up that John Zurich started his career at the Orland Park Police Department as a community service officer, and his supervisor wanted to document that his work ethic displayed from the start of his employment is what allowed him to become a telecommunications officer. It makes him worthy of being Civilian of the Year. Officer of the Year, presented to Investigator John Folliard. Investigator Folliard began his career assigned to the Patrol Division. During his 10 years in the Patrol Division, he was an evidence technician and bike patrol officer. These specialized positions, specifically his work as an evidence technician, helped him transition to the Investigations Division, where for the past 2 years, he's held the specialized position of investigator. In 2023, Investigator Folliard handled several high-profile cases, including being the primary investigator in the armed robbery of a Brinks armored truck in March of 2023. During the last few months of 2022 and the beginning months of 23, there were over a dozen armed robberies of armored trucks in the Chicagoland area. Investigator Folliard formed a strong relationship with the FBI South Resident Agency. During the investigation, Investigator Folliard and assisting investigators executed over 20 search warrants. The results of this mutual investigation resulted in identifying all 4 suspects who were involved in the Orland Park robbery. The Orland Park Police Department Investigations Division and the FBI arrested 3 of the 4 suspects, who are currently incarcerated awaiting federal criminal charges. Additionally, the FBI was able to identify and arrest suspects from other armed robberies around the Chicagoland area. The remaining suspect was identified as a juvenile who resides out of Illinois. In addition to this armed robbery, Investigator Folliard has been the primary investigator in other significant felony cases. Investigator Folliard's case investigations during 23 resulted in successful felony arrests for kidnapping, domestic battery, aggravated home repair fraud, identity theft, and theft. Since joining the Investigations Division, Investigator Folliard has become a leader inside the division. The experience Investigator Folliard obtained from his previous cases allows him to assist investigators, old and new, with their cases. John's willingness to help also extends to the Patrol Division, as he frequently assists patrol officers in their respective cases. John's attention to detail has quickly made him one of the investigation's most relied upon evidence processors. In addition to being a case detective, Investigator Folliard is a member of the Southborough Major Crimes Task Force and the Internet Crime Against Children's Task Force. It's for these and many other reasons that John is awarded Officer of the Year 2023. So that'll be the completion of the biannual 2023 awards ceremony. On behalf of the chief and the board, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. The last 2 awards also get a premium parking spot at the PD, so we got to get the tow trucks going to get the last occupants out of it, because nobody wants to give up those spots quickly. But thank you for coming. It's very appreciated.
Again, thank you to everyone, and like I said, the board and I can't thank you enough. The residents of Orland Park can't thank you enough for all you do. There will be pizza and other things in the lobby. We have a couple of cleanup items. Is there anybody here to speak? Well, I guess your mom's saying you can talk to her. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Rashevsky? Aye. Mayor Pika?
Aye. We're adjourned.